Welcome to the exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm terrified, and I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
What do we got going on?
Wait, what? Is that something different? Is that? No, I like that. That was exciting.
Now I'm
new.
Now I'm scared.
It is scary.
It feels like Halloween.
Yeah, did you just put that together from somewhere? Or?
No, that's from our Halloween episode last year.
Oh, did we do one Halloween episode last year?
Remember the one I wrote?
Oh, I try to forget that every day.
Oh yes.
Do not bring that back up.
Yeah, that.
Can you delete that from our page?
Can people find that?
I love listening to that one.
Do you have to like bump that back up again this year so it's at the top of our page again?
Yeah, maybe I'll re-upload it
Why'd you remind it
on
dude?
Halloween.
What's wrong with you?
Maybe
Who
I'll do a
cares?
recut and I'll just cut out it where it works and just do all the it not working. You guys trying to get through your line.
Was there a part where it worked?
I cut it together so that it was one continuous without you guys breaking.
I know I hate to do this, but what drops tonight? I forget.
I think Halloween starts tonight. I think
Swamp
Thing
Thing.
starts
Something
tonight.
starts, so we'll have that music. Will be in.
It has that music.
Okay,
on
see,
it,
we
yeah.
didn't have it,
Well, that's
But
the
it'll be
first time
playing
we've heard it,
the
I guess,
yeah.
since.
but it'll be
ago.
playing over us introducing the show, right? So,
Yeah,
all
just like that.
So Swamp Thing starts tonight. Ooh, I'm excited. So we don't have a Swamp Thing promo though.
No, Logan did the Swamp Thing promo. That's where he's got Lily on his lap.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry, I forgot he sent that. So we do have one, but I already uploaded that, right?
Yeah, like months ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was my bad. Then. I'll put a picture up. I'll put a Swamp Thing picture or something, maybe of us up.
What are we doing today?
Today we're here to talk about what, Brian?
Basketcase.
Basketcase, rated R, released in April of 1982. That's all I could find. It was April of 1982.
Not even a specific day.
Yeah. Directed by Frank Henenlotter. It's an hour and 31 minutes. He also did a movie I remember from the 80s. It was called Frankenhooker.
I remember that too.
Oh,
I don't know if
when
any-
I looked this up, I saw Frank and
Yeah,
Hooker.
he
and I was like,
he directed that as well. So
And did he directed all the sequels to this too, right?
yeah, Basketcase 2, 3, and I think there might have been a 4.
I honestly have never seen.
I
a
never saw
sequel to
past
Basketcase.
Basketcase
Well,
1.
I
no.
read real quick that they didn't release this in theaters. He played it in an alley off of an 8mm projector.
Come on, is that really what happened? Like, is that
saw-
the release of this?
No, it just seemed like it should have been.
I saw this on video in like the.
It did play at a
mid-ish
theater.
80s.
It did play at this one theater where it was the midnight showing for 2 years.
Holy cow!
Yeah, so it was like I guess it was just maybe like
It was like the Rocky Horror Picture of that
yeah.
theater.
So it was like it had like that cult following. The IMDb description is a young man carrying a big basket that contains his extremely deformed, formerly conjoined twin brother seeks vengeance on the doctors who separated them against their will. The cast I have here is blank. I didn't put anything in it for it, really.
You didn't put the guy that kind of looked like Danny Noonan from Caddyshack, or the guy that kind of looked like Bob Hoskins from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
The hotel guy.
Yeah, the guy that owned
And
the hotel.
I definitely got the
Overacting from that
Noonan look.
hotel guy.
The Noonan thing. But you know what else? And you're going to think I'm crazy for saying it, but if you watch it again, you'll see it. Tyrion Lannister. That is who the Danny Noonan guy. What's his name?
Okay,
That's how
Duane,
he talked.
Duane?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Duane talked. If you look at him, like every single time he talked, I was like, oh my God, he's like, I think maybe Peter Dinklage used him as his model for Tyrion Lannister.
Could you imagine that?
That'd be great to find that out. I wanted to do a Danny.
Peter
or
Dinklage
Duane
is
from-
in the upcoming Trauma movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they redid Toxic Avenger.
Wow.
And Peter Dinklage is in it. So, yeah. I don't know. Lloyd Kaufman is attached. Lloyd, we'd love to have you on the podcast. Please, come on.
You follow us.
Yeah.
Do something.
Don't talk to Uncle Lloyd like that. I mean, nice guy. One of the sweetest guys. Signs for free every time.
Really?
You see him, yeah. He was there yesterday.
Oh, was he there?
But did you want to talk about the cast or anything? I was just going to pull them up on my
nobody in
phone.
this
I didn't
cast,
really
like,
have anything to talk about with the cast.
The girl, I forget her name now. The blonde, the girl he hooks up with.
Yeah.
Apparently
Bonnie?
that's a wig. Not apparently. 'Cause
Yeah,
it was a
she's
really
bald
shitty
in
wig.
real life.
She was bald in real life, and she was in a punk band, and that's why she was bald. And I was actually,
Really?
I was wondering why she was
Yeah.
wearing such a shitty wig. I was like, why? And then I looked it up and said she was in some punk band, and she
I
shaved her
thought
head
it was
for
just
that.
some poor art designer's decision.
Well, you had Casey.
Is that her name? Casey?
Sharon is who the bald one. Terry Susan Smith was her real name. And he had Kevin Van Henterick was playing Duane Bradley.
I looked him up, and everything he's ever
Robert
done.
Vogel
Basketcase.
was the hotel manager. Diane Brown played Dr. Judith Cutter.
None of these people have ever done anything.
No.
Not one breakout star.
No.
I mean, it makes you wonder, like, were they just friends?
Well, I read somewhere where that there were so few people involved in the making of this that they ran the
doubled up.
credits like 3 times at the end of the movie.
They
were
doubled
just
up
like,
their
they just
names,
kept-
and they
just kept-
changed. They made up things to put fake names.
And honestly,
everything,
the
yeah.
credits only lasted like 3 minutes long because
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of.
I
Credits.
wanted to look
Yeah.
for the fake names because I knew that going in. I was like, oh, I'm going to look for the fake names.
How
And
did,
the credits ended, and that was it.
No, I'm not surprised by any of that.
How did everybody watch this one?
I found it online somewhere.
I found when I went on Amazon Prime and I went to do it, and there was this Scream Box 7-day trial, and I was like, oh, it's coming up on Halloween. I'll subscribe to Scream Box just to see what it is.
Screambox is a Amazon horror
Amazon
thing or something like
streaming,
that. Okay.
It's a
Can we get your
A streamer
log on and
service.
password for that as well? If you don't mind?
unfortunately, it's attached to my Amazon. But I also got another copy that I watched it. So
Why?
I don't know.
I rented it for $1.99.
Good story, man. Thanks for that.
I rented it for $1.99 just because. I mean, why not?
Sure.
You know,
Throw them $2.
I figured it wasn't much. So
Do you think that goes anywhere close to the people that had anything to do with the making of this movie?
I don't know.
Do you think they get a check for like 3 cents from Amazon?
you do
saying, like,
hear about
"Thanks"?
people getting those old checks?
Yeah,
and
but
just like,
these people can't have made good decisions in their lives. They're probably not around
yeah,
anymore.
I'm thinking that this
Most
is
of
going
them are
to some
still
sort
alive.
of
That guy,
Oh, really?
the guy that played the hotel. What was it? Hotel
Hotel Broslin.
He died at like 36, like not long after this movie, which was scary because he didn't look 36 in this movie.
No, he didn't.
No,
But
No.
he died at 36 like 5 years after this. So he was probably 32 or that's bad,
the
math,
parents
31.
guide. I went to the parents guide for this movie. Sex and nudity. We could talk about that right away if you want to get right into it. Brian's mental note, if you want to bring that up.
Oh yes, yeah. Highly unnecessary nude scene, full frontal male nudity.
Yeah.
Him
Well,
running
honestly-
through the street.
Honestly, both unnecessary news.
Oh yeah, the
scenes.
woman too. Yeah.
Like, because
Mhm.
all it was fuck, what's his name? Balib?
Balial.
Balib?
Belial.
Belial. Flicking her nipple. That was unnecessary.
I wanted
there.
to talk about
And
that
then-
because this is also extending once again the summer abortions.
Dude, I have it in my notes.
And summer abortions and
Right there in my notes, summer of abortion continues.
Are we not meant?
I am so glad we were on
Are
the
we not
same
meant
page
to
with that.
podcast or what?
I'm so glad we're on the same page.
But the sexual assaults and abortions continues from our summer into our our
Halloween
extravaganza. Wait, what's the
extravaganza?
beginning? I can't.
The Al Pauling hunt for the
the Alpalling hunt for
the
extravaganza, Halloween spectacular.
extravaganza, something.
Oh, that's right from the TikTok. But
Yes, that I was. There's an abortion happening. It's just like a 37th trimester abortion or something. I thought about South Park when Miss Cartman wanted an abortion, but she really wanted. She didn't want an abortion. She wanted a She wanted to legally separate herself from Eric, and she thought it was an abortion, and so she was sleeping with everybody to get that. including sleeping with Bill Clinton. And he's like, that's okay. I approve a 37-month abortion.
Did you notice when Duane pulled his brother off her? There was like a sucking sound.
Yes.
But they were yanking and yanking.
Didn't it look like? Wasn't it like blood? Like, it looked like it was blood.
Her crotch was all
like
blood, and
it was. But how about his?
Whoever did the acting for
Belial.
Belial is a Hebrew word meaning
Belial.
used to characterize the wicked or the worthless.
Oh,
So it's got an origin in Hebrew. I had to know why they named Duane and then Belial. I'm like, that seems
Belial.
like Belial, whatever the fuck it is. I figured there has to be a reason.
Say it now.
Belial.
And that name was mentioned one time? The aunt said it one time?
No, they said it a few times.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Because she said it at one point. I'm like,
I know.
I haven't heard that before.
I want to say there was at least 2 or 3 times I heard the
Okay.
name. Yeah,
Maybe.
But at a parent's guide, when Duane walks through the streets in the beginning, there's multiple signs advertising strip clubs, peep shows, etc. No nudity.
The old
New
Times
York
Square.
I
But
said
then
in my notes,
there's a scene of rape.
New York City as a character again, because we had that with Night Shift. We had that with
Yep.
shit. What else do we have?
Seedy New York, right?
Yeah.
The sequence contains full frontal male nudity, close-up shots of
it does.
female upper body nudity,
It has a
as well as the
flicking of a
depiction of
nipple.
sexual violence.
Flicking of a nipple. She had to sit there with her eyes closed. While
The full frontal nudity depicted above is prolonged and detailed. The simulated sexual activity depicted is not prolonged or detailed, it said. But there was that weird sucking noise that we
weird
still
sucking
have
noise
no
and her
idea.
whole- her whole crotch
that
covered
whole
in
area,
blood,
like
and when
almost
Popped
down to
her
her,
up.
from like almost like from her knees up.
And it didn't
And
look
then
like
around
he had
her.
a penis. He must have stuck something else in there.
I was wondering where he got all his strength from, because he was just this little guy. I guess he had all a human's
And he
muscles
loved
into
those
like
fucking
a 1
hamburgers,
foot.
didn't he? He loved the hamburger.
I put that in my notes because I said, shit, where did I put it?
Did you watch this at regular speed?
I did.
Okay.
So
good.
the first hamburger
I like
that
when
he
you do
got
that.
was a hamburger with no buns. He took the buns off
Yeah,
and threw the
right?
bun
Yeah.
in,
He
or
was
he
just
threw
giving
the
him the
burger in. Then he threw like 3 bun burgers, and then he just threw like a bunch
Then he
of
just dumped that whole
tinfoil
bag. Yeah.
burgers.
I was wondering if he
I was like,
ate
why
the
did you,
tinfoil.
why
or
did you care that first one didn't have a bun?
Did he eat the tinfoil, or did he just?
I don't know. They
'cause
never-
how he did have his hands.
That basket was,
but his hands were bigger. He had like the bigger fingers.
That basket was really immaculately clean. There was no droppings or anything in there.
Yeah. So what was that weird stuff on the bottom of him? If it wasn't on the bottom of the basket when they were in there, right? There wasn't like a blanket or anything in there for like
He didn't even have a blanket to go to
Yeah,
sleep in.
comfort, like
And remember when they were
Poor Bialy.
removing him?
Belial.
Bialy's.
Stop.
When they were cutting him, the sound they used with the scalpel to cut him, and it was insane.
I'm no doctor. I have no idea how any of this works, but the fact that they didn't share any kind of organs, but he was attached to his side, and then their way of extracting it was just yanking him off after
Can we
they cut most of him off.
Can we talk about how loud he was that first scene that he made when he just made that
When he killed the doctor?
with the bed, he was like and he was just shaking the bed. And he was just like,
Wait, which scene was
And
that?
slam when he
was just
got
slamming
mad
it.
when he
When he
kissed
got
the
mad.
girl.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
when his
yeah,
brother
yeah.
kissed.
and then his brother wasn't there when Duane had left.
Oh, when he
Yeah.
ended up killing the guy across the hall. the stop motion. I mean, it was awesome. It was so fun to watch.
I
Like,
love the stop motion.
I know
It
this is
worked so good.
this is
It
1982, and they had a
worked so
budget.
good the way they would turn away from it and then come back, or just like
They had a budget of like $17 for this movie. It was great.
They
but
said that it was half of it. I think he had like $12,000 or something. That roll of money that he pulls out at one time, that was the
their
budget.
money?
That was their money.
Oh my god, yeah, this looks like, and the fact that they actually filmed this in New York City, like they actually filmed this in New York City. They filmed at the Statue of
There
Liberty.
was
They
a
filmed in
couple
Times
scenes they
Square.
did where they didn't get permits because they knew that by the time they got down there, before anybody came over and told them once or twice that they had to stop, they would have already had the shot, so they were fine. They did
That's
it
awesome.
without permits.
I mean, they definitely filmed at the Statue of Liberty because that scene was there.
Yeah, the base of the.
I mean, I
statue.
guess they could have built a fake base, but it's probably cheaper to actually film it
I
there.
think so. Yeah, building a fake base would be a lot more expensive.
They had a nice helicopter shot of Battery Park with the trade center there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a nice scene. It was like going across.
And when you think of it, that was all empty lot.
Yeah.
But from the West Side Highway down or to the water was empty in this shot, and it is jam packed
Wow.
today.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
was
that's
40 years ago,
Yeah.
and they cleared a lot of it out when they.
that's
bulldozed everything.
expensive realty now. You know what I mean?
It's super expensive.
Yeah.
Really nice stuff down there.
For violence and gore, it had the film contained scenes of violence and gore with the sight of injuries such as bloody scratches on the victims' faces, blood spurting when they were killed, as well as the aftermath of a killing when a man's severed torso is seen. That was interesting when
They showed his body.
Yeah.
It was like from Die Hard 3 when Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis picked up the guy's body, and then you realize they were both picking up a half of a guy.
Yeah.
because you
I think
saw
that-
the guy lying there, and then you saw his legs.
I think that happened in Saving Private Ryan or something
yes,
too, where they
yeah,
pulled it
for
out
sure.
like that. Yeah.
Gore, I guess it was.
I mean, I think
ridiculous.
it was cheesy gore. I
It
think
was cheesy gore.
Like the blood was, it was as close to as blood as like this budget could get. I mean,
When the
the
veterinarian
blood didn't look
cut-
bad. It wasn't the worst blood. I've seen worse blood in movies. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
for
So
sure.
it wasn't like
I mean, they
did
tried.
pretty good,
They
I
tried
think,
for
yeah.
sure in this. Like every guy that they showed his face all ripped up and stuff.
And when they pulled him off his brother,
Oh.
there was like a blob of flesh that like dropped off. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, no,
yeah. And then like his brother still had that whole weird.
Yeah,
he had a
scar.
very
it was like-
strange
like
scar.
It was like rashy kind of like scar. Like
Well, he
almost.
put veterinarium sewing
like it
it
was
back
almost
up.
like it was like didn't it seem like it was like a fresh
yeah,
wound?
put some
like
aloe on that. I mean, you can. There's
like I would
something
think
you
it
can
should
do.
have been covered or something. Like it seemed it was too open, right? Like
It
was
did
like
seem open. Yeah,
like-
it hadn't healed up, but it
Yeah.
had been years.
like you would think that years in it was still like that. It should be covered. I would think
It is, and it should seep through to
it's
his
getting all
shirt.
infected and everything. The shirt would be sticking to it, right?
Yeah.
Like
I love that in movies where like a guy is all bloody and then he puts on his white T-shirt over it, and there's
perfectly
nothing.
fine.
nothing.
Yeah,
Oh, that was another thing. Another mental note. is
nice.
the
We got a second mental note. This is huge.
80s, the hotel guy with his V-neck T-shirt with the suspenders.
With the
That-
suspenders.
yeah.
That was great.
thought
That was a great hotel. I was.
I like that hotel.
wanna
It was a
stay
made-up
there.
hotel.
That should be a place that they should do. Like
it wasn't a real
one-night
hotel.
kind
I
of
saw
thing.
it was the made-up. The sign was one of the things that they used the budget to make.
Oh, the
So that was a
Hotel
made-up sign.
Brolin or whatever it
so
was.
They didn't
What
get a
is it,
real hotel.
Roslyn?
Yeah, Broslin.
I mean, everybody was really involved in
Everybody's life. And he had the hooker living next door. And she
Everybody
took him out
like
for
everybody
drinks and-
came out like when there was any kind of like scene or commotion. Everybody was there.
Yeah.
and
Like that whole building was there. Like you saw people from like every floor, and those steps were insane. Did you see how
there were no handrails,
that was an unsafe, very unsafe building?
especially when you're carrying
You were
a
falling
bed.
from the third to the first
that
floor.
building was very unsafe.
When you had to carry your brother in a basket up those steps, it's very dangerous.
What a weird thing to carry around, though, too. Like, and think
I
about
think
it,
if
like,
that movie was done today, it would be a knapsack. It would be on his back, kind of thing. You would
backpack,
carry,
yeah.
you could carry him on your back.
yeah. So then we would call it, what would you call it? Knapsack, backpack case,
Basketcase,
or no, just backpack. I was just say backpack, right?
backpack coming this summer. Backpack.
I like it.
No relation to Dory. Dora
Dora.
Oh man. Oh, where were we at? I did violence and gore, profanity, a couple uses of the word shit, dick, and goddamn.
Yeah. Wasn't there a couple F words in there?
I don't know.
I don't-
I remember hearing.
I don't
that.
recall F words, but this didn't have any listed. But you remember hearing some? You think
Actually, it could be a Winx. Fate, a Winx saga.
Crossover.
I was thinking the same thing because Fletch said so many times.
for alcohol, drugs, and smoking, the main character is walking around along the sidewalk. A man approaches him to sell drugs. Here you go, Andy. You want to take this one here?
I'm hoping you have more because all
I don't
wanted to
have the
say-
list.
Oh my God. In my notes. Shit, where the fuck is it?
He had quite an impressive list.
You did.
Dude, where's my.
This is awkward.
Sidewalk drug dealer.
You'll be able to clear up this awkward pause and silences that Andy's causing right now, right? Let's leave him hanging out there like he leaves us out there sometimes.
And I never get approached by drug dealers, but when I was in
yeah.
Bermuda with Andy, of course, they came out of the woodwork to offer it to him. Not to me. The other 5 times I was there, no one ever offered it to me.
I wish I had a list of all the drugs that he was being offered because he had every single drug ever made.
Oh, and he was nonstop. And I was like,
I mean, it went on for like a minute where
Yeah,
he was just
he
rattling
had-
off everything.
if he didn't have what you wanted, he
Was a pimp because
Yeah.
he said, I got girls. So he's got every drug on the planet and girls. That guy, why is he even working the street? He's got it going on. He should just be like, I got all the drugs.
He was impressive.
That was the only guy that could say he was living the dream because he really was the only one.
I'm sure he actually had none of the drugs, but he would have knocked that kid over his head and stole his big wad of money.
And then I have for frightening and intense scenes. It said some of the violence, though being played out for comedic effect, is quite graphic, and blood is shown on several occasions, which it was.
Yeah,
It
it
definitely was shown.
Especially on that girl's crotch.
But here's what we were talking about a few minutes ago. Most of the credits that appear at the end of the film are fake. The crew is very small, and rather than repeat the same names over and over again, they decided to just make up names.
So the best boy was not actually John Smith.
Yeah, I mean,
Everything about this screamed amateur
Oh,
movie making.
I mean, Biala was just a
Belial.
clump of clay.
Bialy.
the film's budget was so low that the crew would go dumpster diving for discarded furniture and plumbing to dress the sets.
That's why the hotel looked so nice.
Oh, when he hid in the toilet, when he was in the girl next door, the one that he was like, he stole her panties.
Yeah.
But when he hid in that toilet, or I guess he was hiding. No, sorry, he was hiding in
from the
their
cops,
in their
right?
toilet when the cop came in. And by the way, for a B or C movie, like this was
We'll give it a B minus.
okay. The acting in this, like that cop was like acting his ass off. No, he was so
So they were all terrible.
No. I thought the acting was actually
Which cop?
exquisite. The black guy that was kind of like interrogating him in his room, saying like, "So you don't have any
Got a
pets here?"
21 Jump Street kind of vibe.
Definitely, for sure. Yeah,
Love
I thought he
21
was
Jump
great.
Street, dude.
I thought he was great. I thought the hotel manager
You were wondering
great.
who did the voice for the Belial puppet?
was. I
It
might
was
have been.
no. Didn't you, I thought you guys were saying
You're not gonna say like Frank Oz or something.
no.
are
It
you?
was
Billy West.
It was Kevin, the guy who played Duane.
Duane?
Yeah,
Well,
he did
that
the,
makes sense,
Yeah,
'cause
he
they
did
were
the voice
telepathically linked.
effects, but he did the voice effects too. So I wonder if he did the breathing then. He probably did the breathing then.
Although I must say the one bad acting.
One.
No. I really thought the acting for a shitty movie like this was really good. The Dr. Cutter, the female doctor,
She was the worst.
she was fucking
Oh,
terrible.
man.
Oh
She
my
was
god!
the worst.
Why are you coming at me? Stop coming at me! What are you doing?
Her
What are you doing?
Her scream at the end when her reveal when she was like,
with the
stabbed,
fucking scalpels in her.
and they were all in her, and then the girl's like, and then she's staring at it, she just opens her mouth and she screams, and she's like, ah! It was just the most ridiculous scream
And also at her
ever.
office, I'm telling you, when those two girls ran to her office, that was the first time I realized there were twins in that office because I kept thinking it was like a weird mirror thing.
I thought it was weird too.
They
I was
showed
like, why are they doing that?
They
I-
showed her, and then they showed her from a different angle. I'm like, what's going on
Did
with
you
this
read
I
girl?
got that. I think I got that right away.
Oh,
I
did
read.
not.
I had to read that. I read it on IMDb.
Well, when they both ran to the office, I was like, oh, those are twins. I'm like, that's fucked up. I thought they were
Maybe
like.
the doctor's acting was so bad that it just tainted. No, because Duane was a terrible actor too.
I don't
Well,
know if he was any
here's
worse
something
than any of the actors
The,
we've seen.
the
in
director
1982.
admitted that he really didn't know what he was doing while making this, as it was his first feature-length full directorial effort. As such, he experimented with the tone. He said if it wasn't scary, it could be funny. And if a scene wasn't funny, it could at least be entertaining for its shock value. So he was trying to do as much as he could, probably with the budget that he had. I think for what he had and for like what they put out, I think amazing, absolutely amazing.
For the longevity of this movie, then yeah, it actually is amazing that this people still talking about it.
There it is. It's the scenes at the Statue of Liberty were shot without a permit. That's the one I was telling you about. So it was the Statue of Liberty. So that's great that they did that. They're like, by the time they tell us, because they'll probably tell you once, hey, don't do it. And then you keep doing it. Hey, we told you, get out of here. Now we're not going to tell you again. By the time that they're out of there,
One of the scenes that bothered me in this, when they did that extended flashback, which I guess was just him getting drunk at the bar and then going through his life story, but he was passed out at the bar because they showed him being born and in the crib, and then the separation scene. But when his dad goes down into the basement, shirtless and barefoot, like into a basement, that there's nothing more creepy to me than being like shirtless and shoeless in a basement. I'm just like, God damn it, man! Put on some fucking
a dirty
slides
basement too. How
least.
dirty was that basement too? I was so hoping that he just missed a nail.
Well, like that scene from what was that? The John Krasinski movie.
Oh, Quiet Place?
Yeah, where she steps on the nail up into the foot. I was waiting for that to happen. I was like, this dude's stepping on something because he's an asshole in his basement with
did you
no
like,
shoes
did you like
and
how,
no
did you
shirt
like his
on.
ending though?
But why? That was
unnecessary.
It was a great ending. I wish they kind of showed, because he got bisected by the saw. I wish they showed more of his corpse.
Like when his, they showed how one leg fell and the other one was still up, and then the other one fell.
That was really great. And I was never quite sure, the mystery of the movie. Was it the kids that did it, or was it the aunt? Because she was kind of like, we're not going to talk about how he went, and that's okay.
They never did show who was making all that racket.
And there's a lot of racket, but why would that kid be? Why would Bialik be so good with tools?
Lyle, you're getting it. You're almost there, dude. You almost have it.
Why would he be so good with tools? Because it was like actually that scene from Monty Python's Holy Grail where they're building the Trojan rabbit, and he's scanning the horizon, and you just hear like hammer and nails going. The guy wakes up, he's looking around, you hear. And he's like, what's going on? Something's getting built somewhere. What's going on down there? Don't I hear a hammer and nails?
Film critic Rex Reed once stated that Basketcase was the sickest movie he had ever seen. The quote ultimately wound up being featured on the movie poster.
That's insane. I mean, maybe in 1982 this was like sick, but it was ridiculous. The gore was obviously fake.
Everything.
The puppet was performed by the producer's 8-year-old daughter.
The puppet,
was it made by her?
What was with? By the way,
because it was too small, the puppet shrank down to be too tight for adult hands.
Was she inside of it? Oh no, so
she
it was
used
the
her
hand
hands.
doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, that stop motion.
And the twin receptionists were cousins.
They weren't twins.
They were They were cousins of. Excuse me, I read that wrong. The twin receptionists in the film were cousins of director Frank Henlenhotter.
So they were twin. That would have been much weirder as twin cousins. Like that doesn't really happen.
Whoops.
That's if you have sex with your sister.
I mean, you can look
if
like
you have sex with your sister and have kids, they're
I guess
twin
you can
cousins, right?
I guess you can have two cousins that look alike, but
sure.
I mean, yeah.
My son and his cousin look exactly alike, and they don't share any DNA but mine and my sister's.
They share a lot of DNA.
That didn't come out right. Damn shit.
They got threatened by some guy during they were doing street shoots in New York City when Duane first arrives in New York City. A raving man burst out of a porno store and threatened the crew not to film his store.
I remember when he walked by the peep show.
There was a lot of
you were hoping he went in.
Times Square was a dirty, dirty place before Giuliani took over, man.
Yeah, he did.
Any movie prior to Giuliani's reign of terror, I love movies that are set in that New York.
It's so
New York
dirty
City.
looking, man.
It's so
and
grimy,
now it's dirty
and
again.
It's just that grimy.
Come back to us, Rudy.
Oh God, no.
Can Rudy come back? Can he make a comeback?
Okay, here's my the only other thing I've written
Is this
down.
a mental
notes.
note?
No, I've written down. It was like things I wanted to make sure I talked about. Why did he have like those red eyes at the end? The Biala,
like the magical,
like he had all of a sudden red eyes like glowing and
like did he go mad? Like what happened?
or he was communicating with his brother.
But
or something.
but the brother was passed out. That was the night of the drinking.
But it
so-
almost gave him like you said, almost like a sci-fi feel to it. Like is he supernatural now?
Now I'm supposed to believe this is all sci-fi because up until this point I'm believing that this little roach thing that got ripped off this guy's body.
I think I like that part better. Him being pulled off the body. No,
Watching this movie today makes
is
me
the greatest.
more interested in seeing Basketcase 2 and 3, which I never watched.
I've never seen any of the sequels. I think there might have been a fourth. I'm not 100% sure, but there might have been a fourth.
yeah, I don't know if I'm going to pursue this.
I
mean, I you know what? I can't say that I hated the movie because
don't go there.
I watched
yet.
it.
No, we're not there
in
yet.
One-time speed.
One-time speed. How bold of you!
This film couldn't afford a camera dolly, so a wheelchair was used to accomplish tracking shots.
And that was like when Bialy was like running all over the place.
Probably, yeah.
That worked because if it was too straight, it wouldn't have felt as
The
monstrous.
The
I guess
centerfold on O'Donovan's wall is of Mary and Madeline Collinson, Playboy's first twin playmates.
Yeah, I did notice
twin playmates. Who's
Mickey O'Donovan.
That was he had a very Irish name.
Wait,
That O
who's
in front
this?
of Donovan
Who's
was
Mickey
pretty,
O'Donovan? Which one's he?
the one that tried to steal the money.
Yeah, he was the
Okay, yeah.
He was very Irish looking too. He had like just that like weird like Dennis the Menace like kind of as an adult hair.
That was a great hotel.
And he was obviously drunk.
That,
I really think there
I would
should
have
be a
liked
hotel
to have
like
lived
that.
there. Wouldn't you have liked to live there for some reason?
For
I
a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to stay there.
No, I was
for
gonna say
weeks.
I would say like I would take like maybe give me 6 months. I lived there for
Oh my
6
God
months.
Almighty!
I could do
No,
6
not 6
months
months.
there.
I
I
want
went to New York.
How long
yeah.
could you do there?
I don't know 6 months, but yeah, I could definitely do a couple months.
I want to be there for a day, but I don't want to be one of the principal characters. I just want to be one of the gawkers.
You want to be the ones that shows up
every
in the
time
background?
something's screaming.
You're like fourth,
every time
you're like fourth in the background. You're like,
I want
what?
to be ugly, tall guy in the background when they do the cast list.
Only see part of your face.
the less of my face, the better. But that hotel was crazy.
And who was the guy in the pink robe? Was he supposed to be like a gay guy or something that was living there?
I don't
An
know. I
older
didn't
gay
pick up on
guy.
that.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
No one had a name,
He just showed up every single time there was a racket. being
but everybody showed up. You're like, where are these people coming from? They're just like in their own room. They're like, guess it's time to go upstairs and see what all the fuss is about.
Here, Basketcase played as a midnight movie at the Waverly
This so
Theater in
feels like
New
a
York
midnight
City
movie.
for the 2 years after its release. So the Waverly Theater in NYC, I guess that was.
Do you have any like how many Oscars and stuff like that was this nominated for?
Oh, that's a long list. I don't know.
Not even like special effects.
I didn't see. I wonder if I should have
There was
looked
no
up.
Star Wars movie in 1982.
I didn't look to see if
What's
there was
this going
any.
up against?
Maybe there could have been Razzies possibly for this. I didn't look that up.
Is this
either.
going up against like
Did you look up?
Poltergeist?
Was there
No, I
a
did
Siskel
not.
and Ebert on this one or no?
I did not look that up. I'm
That's
sorry.
his one thing, dude.
I
He says
know.
I'm going to bring that to the podcast, and
Maybe that's a 1983 thing.
and then
Maybe
we
I'll
have
bring it up for the
problems
New
bringing
Year's.
in his like.
I don't think
He
I have a
brought two-
fucking problem bringing content, man. I'm talking nonstop.
Listen, he brought 2 mental notes tonight, so he's ahead. He's way ahead of all of
Obviously,
us.
the naked guy was one of his mental notes. He's like, I got to talk about the naked guy
No,
running
but-
down the
But then I
street.
did bring the
Also-
unique Tyrion Lannister thing.
Oh my
also,
God,
he
what
doesn't
did you-
have, like you said, Siskel and Ebert didn't do every movie, so it's not like they might not have done a basket case.
They might not have been in the alley when this was shown.
There might have been some other important movies that came out in
April
of
1982? I don't know. We started Conan the Barbarian was May, so I think anything before May of 1982 was not that important. Although this was.
This was definitely, as soon as we saw it, we knew this was part of our appalling hunt extravaganza Halloween spectacular.
The appalling hunt for the Halloween extravaganza.
Wait, I got to write it down because I'm missing a word or I'm flip-flopping something. I got to write it down. Or write to us. What should we call this? comment. Nobody comments.
No one comments. You know how many things I listen to and watch that I don't comment on? I'm like,
I know, but I want people to write and comment.
You know who comments?
to us.
Millennials. That's not us.
It's nice when I see people give us a like. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, likes
You know what I mean? But like,
We have our steady viewer from Virginia, Fairfax, Virginia.
Fairfax, Virginia. Shout out. We don't know your name, but if you are, give us a hello on the
someone
old
from
Instagram.
Illinois, I forget the name of it.
Did you say Illinois?
Friendsville or something like that.
Wait, did you say Illinois?
Illinois.
Did you really? You really say Illinois?
Illinois.
I think you really said that.
I think you really said it. And then, of course,
Sorry for our listener from Illinois.
and Kevin in Canada.
Of course, Kevin.
Kevin
Kevin will hopefully be on next week.
I think he's on next
Yeah.
week. Slumber Party Massacre.
see you next week, Kevin. We're looking forward.
See you
to
next
it.
Tuesday. Oh no, next Saturday.
And we have our an Orlando listener and our Indian listener.
Wait, let's tell everybody now. Next week we're doing Slumber Party Massacre.
I didn't even know this movie existed.
You
and then
didn't?
Kevin sent me a link for the trailer.
Yeah.
I'm all in on this
I'm
movie.
really disappointed that I didn't find that to do for our Halloween.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it
extravaganza.
wasn't in our.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes things just.
Because Kevin messaged me and he's like, "Are you doing Slumber Party Massacre? Please tell me you're doing Slumber Party Massacre." And I was like, "Yeah, we're definitely doing that, right?" I'm thinking, and then I'm like,
I know
look at the
Kevin's got a
thing, and I
job,
was
but he's got to get a life, dude. Like, what's he doing?
like us.
This is our life. Start paying us so we can stop doing other things.
I hardly ever came over here. Remember, you'd always say, "Yeah, I might come over. I might."
Now you're
and now I'm
weak
over
with
here every Saturday.
But we're relegated
Sometimes,
to the basement.
sometimes multiple times a week.
Would you not want to be down here?
This
good
is an
time,
awesome
dude.
basement. Yeah.
This is
That's where
fun.
it's got to be.
Folks got to go on Instagram and see the pictures, right?
Yeah, we're out there.
Take a
We're
shot
loving every
from,
second
from
of
this
it.
direction. Like you got to get a shot, like
Oh, because we don't have
There,
that
over.
picture.
All right, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get that in the next shot. Yeah.
because like from my view of the base, it looks so awesome right here. All those guitars and the keyboard, and then all the posters.
That's
and
the
books.
guitar alley.
It's all staged. I couldn't play guitar if I had a gun to my head.
Let's see, what else do I have
I mean, I
here?
could. It'd be terrible.
They said in Casey's apartment there were at least 7 smiley face items. There
Well,
were
she had the
different
smiley
items that
face
smiley face.
shirt, and she had the
Her
smiley
nightie,
face light for
her
sure.
clock,
Yep.
a button by the window, and,
And
several
why didn't
others.
they
it
show
said.
her boobs? Like she was getting ready to take off.
Did
her
they
bra.
show her boobs? Because she went
No.
into the bathroom and
And she
disappeared.
took and she walked forward when she was taking off her bra, and then she came out with the smiley face thing, and then she took off her panties, and they never showed anything.
Maybe she didn't want to show anything. I mean, I guess
could be.
actors can choose not to. But when you're in Basketcase with a budget of $17, is that what the budget was?
If the leads are showing themselves,
I have their budget here. Their budget was $16,000, and half of that was the director's
Drugs.
his life savings.
damn, and that's 1982, $16,000. So that's like $8 million.
So he's like Kevin Smith of his time. Kevin Smith like spent all his money to make Clerks.
He is not like Kevin Smith.
The streaking scene was one of the ones they did without a permit.
Oh, really? You
yeah.
can't like just have a guy running naked down Central Park?
To shoot the scene, the crew would first clear the sidewalks of any objects that might hurt Kevin.
That was another thing, like running barefoot.
Yep, they
Let
said-
alone his dick hanging
they-
out, but
they-
barefoot down in New York City
They
street.
They went through.
Holy
They cleared
shit,
it
man.
of any objects. He was then let out of a heated van on one side of the block and met on the other side by another heated van. Once picked up, the van would drive him to another block. This would repeat, and they would do it again until they got it the amount of
And
shots
why did they
needed.
do that? Why did they have to be naked?
What was the purpose of?
I
the
don't
naked?
understand the purpose.
Well, that was
and need
Bialy
for
running down.
either.
That was Bialy running. So he's naked, but he was telepathically linked to him.
Yeah.
But
The,
why did we have to see that? I
the
guess.
bar scenes.
I think it would have been funny if Bialy was running down the street.
Belial.
And Bialys are like
B.
bagels without holes.
B.
I just want to pronounce it. It's much funnier when I
Lyle.
don't pronounce it right.
I know it's funny when I keep making fun to say it right. The bar scenes that were shot in an S&M club in Manhattan. It's now known as the Hellfire Club.
Oh, that's from the X-Men.
So if you
Hellfire
want to
Club.
go, you can go check out the Hellfire
There's actually
Club.
a Hellfire Club in Manhattan?
The bar was so big that the crew also used it as Bradley's basement, and the crew had to hide all the sex toys, including a large swing and which is still in the club to this day.
Wow.
So if you want to go check that out,
Basketcase
Brian,
swing.
Why don't we do a group trip to New York City?
do you want to go see the Hellfire Club? I think we should.
Let's for a bunch of these movies. that
We'll
were
do
filmed
a
in New York.
Patreon listen. We'll have some of our listeners come with us.
Kevin can come down from Canada.
Yeah,
And
our Fairfax,
Richmond,
Virginia
Virginia.
listener,
Fairfax.
Virginia, the Illinois.
our
guy.
friend from India.
The friend from India. That's right.
we're not paying to have you come out here.
No,
This is
he's more than
expensive.
welcome to fly himself out here and join us. But we'd love to have you here.
Come on out.
And our Pennsylvania friends.
Nah, they suck, man.
Whatever.
I
They're
know
too
that.
close.
I know them. They suck.
How about do we have any Trenton friends?
We have lots of Trenton. Like
Okay.
I see lots of Trenton pop up.
Really?
Yeah.
Are we all considered like Trenton now?
No. I mean, from when I look at it's New Egypt, so it's
No, I'm thinking
very
that's like
rare
our
that a New Egypt
Angelica and
pops
stuff
up.
like that.
Angelica.
Yeah.
I know her.
Yeah, that's
I
like,
work with her.
That's our Trenton representation.
All right. I told her to tell our
Mount Laurel.
family. Mount Laurel.
How about when they were hanging from the hotel sign? That was insane, right?
When
That was
the
my that was
hookers
my
finally
favorite
noticed.
scene.
And she screams. She's like,
She's like, "Wait, what's going on? What's that?" She's like, "What's going on up there?"
but he was so
20
strong.
people from nowhere came out to look.
He was so strong. It reminded me of Chris Elliott from Scary Movie 2 with the like,
With a strong
I
hand.
just told you with my strong hand.
He had a rig. He was like rigged to the side of it or something.
Oh, he wasn't
Yeah, like a,
hanging by a puppet? Okay, that's good to know.
but that's what they're saying. That's how he did this. That's how he did it with a rig inside his shirt.
Do you think at that
Bolted
point
to the sign.
Bialy was regretting his choices? Because
I don't know who you're talking about.
So did he
Killed his
go
brother.
down on that girl? Like, is that how she died? Do you think?
I don't, because his bottom parts were all over. Like his bottom parts were all bloody, and her, private
His
parts. were all
bottom
bloody.
parts. He was only bottom parts.
Well, the flat part that he would sit on.
He looked like a jellyfish.
But he might have. He had crazy teeth.
Your thing that you just mentioned earlier, Andy, the original ending included Belial walking around Manhattan. However, However, the director and crew soon realized that they did not have the budget or technical requirements to pull off such a scene.
A stop motion.
Yeah,
Bialy
instead they
running
were
Tie
around.
some fishing line to him. Run around.
It's,
drive with him kicking around the back.
I think they could have done it where they did a stop motion where they just show them one
man.
quick scene.
That
I think
stop
could have
motion in the
worked,
hotel
man.
room is amazing. It's probably
But
my
that's when they
favorite part
shot
of the whole movie.
So Frank, the director, wrote the scene where with Duane streaking through New York, and called Kevin to get his approval, and that's when they did that. So instead of doing the
I'm
scene of him walking around New
I'm
York,
a little
they
more
did the
impressed
streaking.
with this movie that it was a $16,000 budget in New York City.
Yeah,
That's actually
That's like one day's lunch in New York City now.
and being like shooting rogue, basically going
yeah.
we're going here with no permits and like.
Oh, I think you said someone was shooting ropes. I was like, that's disgusting. Don't say that.
That might have happened in some theaters near where this was shot.
Yeah, when you're going to New York, you know what? I was going
I
to say,
think that's how much it costs to get through the tunnel now.
if you're going to stay in New York, do you really want to stay in Times Square? Would that be expensive? But maybe not. Maybe that's the place to
Times
go.
Square
In
might be-
1982, you're probably like, it's not the place to go. So that's where you go.
But it's also
if you-
expensive,
cheapest
right?
place-
Though it's
cheapest place. Thank
It's
you.
expensive to stay there.
Now
still.
it is. Now it's the place to be. But back then it was like,
What is it? The kids saying. All the kids are saying it now.
It's the place to be.
it's fire.
Oh, they say that now. Your son says that now.
We're doing Frank Costanza
And the Maestro.
The Maestro, yeah.
The place to be.
I'm sorry. How far in are we? Are we about time for scores? Should I talk?
We're about 43, 42 minutes.
I really,
Really, that's it. I feel like we've been talking
I've
about this
come.
movie
I've
for
come to run out of
hours.
notes. Basically,
We haven't gone tangent. We've been talking about the movie.
I think that's
Because
pretty
this
good.
movie is awesome and it should be talked about.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to get into our scores. I agree. I like this movie a lot.
I'll go first.
There it is.
I give this movie a 75. I thought it was fun. 1982.
Real quick.
Terrible.
My score is typed in here. If you want to read that real quick.
I see that. I see it.
I also give this a 75%.
I think we hit last week too. I think was the same score on Creep Show.
This movie's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I would
I had a
love to watch
lot of
this
fun
again,
watching
man.
this. It was. I mean, listen. There's nothing good about this movie, but it's all good. It's all fun to watch.
This movie's so much fun to hate and love.
Oh, no, I don't think there's anything to hate
and
about
love.
this.
Exactly. You hate and love. It's why do I like this movie? I shouldn't like this movie, but you do.
When it first started off, that first scene where the one doctor's in the woods and he's like looking around at the sounds, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be one of those fucking movies where it's just gonna be. I forgot. I mean, I haven't seen this movie in 35 years probably, so I was really kind of like, I think I've forgotten.
I don't think
how
we mentioned
terrible
it
this
earlier,
movie
but
is.
this is one of those movies I used to rent a lot.
Oh no, I've seen
Like-
this movie. This might be
really?
like the third time I've seen this movie. So.
I rent it. I've seen. Well, when I say a lot, I would say I've seen this movie as a kid. I've seen this movie over 20 times.
Oh
as
wow,
a kid.
no.
Wow.
I'm not like that.
As a kid, but as I didn't see it for at least
A long time,
20
yeah.
some years.
You've been
Easy.
It's been a long
Yeah.
time since you've been a kid.
Yeah. So
That was a Coke can, not a bong.
It's
right?
been one. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I watched it. I was so much fun reminiscing with this movie today.
I agree. I was like
yesterday I
laughing at
watched
the right times. I threw my hands up a couple times, but I give it to him for just the cheapness
like
of it.
the breathing. I was getting so mad at the breathing, and I was like, "This." Then I'm thinking to myself, "I was like, this is the inspiration for Tony Soprano." You know what I mean? In the later seasons of The Sopranos.
Well, it's funny how that trope has become. Well, it's a trope that you see the
Get over here,
perspective of-
AJ.
the perspective of the killer with their breathing and stuff like that. Like, does he have a camera? Does he have a camera with him? Why is he? No one else breathes like that. The killer always breathes like that. Anyway, sorry, 75. Loved it.
The sexual assaults are so much fun in this too.
Wow, that wasn't fun.
The one sexual assault.
Well, he killed her and he flicked her nipple.
The flicking of the nipple is just so weird.
So she had to sit there just lying down with a. Well, I guess it was a regular hand.
So
flicking
wait a second. The director's daughter puppeted the guy. Did she
yeah,
flick the
but
nipple?
that was a regular hand that did the nipple.
Yeah, they
Because
probably-
at first it was a regular hand feeling her up, and I'm like, obviously, this
maybe
is
she was doing
Fiala,
like the
so-
running around kind of thing. Maybe
Oh,
for that
okay.
I
kind
think
of
they
thing.
smushed her in that thing. It was like a sock, and they said, "You get in this thing." And run around."
She doesn't have any legs like that kid from E.T.
What'd you think of the kid that played young Duane? I thought I thought that was pretty good acting for the young
I thought
Duane.
the acting in this was very good for a shitty movie.
For again, like what you said, the low budget, $16,000.
that was like $100 a person.
1982 New York. The crew was a skeleton crew basically because they didn't have
I didn't see a skeleton. in
people
this.
were doing multiple jobs. You know what I mean? So it's like
Anyway, 75.
crazy.
Loved it. I'll watch it again.
75 for me as well. Maybe me and Andy will watch it together.
Oh my god, Michelle did not watch this with me today because she had to go to IKEA. So.
Did she want to?
Yeah, she was like, as soon as I said we're doing Basketcase, she's like, "Oh." I'm like, "Well, don't go to IKEA and buy shitty chairs."
Wait a second. When I asked Brady, I said, "Oh, how's Andy this morning?" He was just like he wasn't there when I woke up.
Oh, we went out and bought rugs this morning.
Oh,
We went to some dirt mall in Trenton that sells cheap ass rugs because now we have a new puppy dog, so we have to throw out all our old rugs and now
damn.
get new rugs that can be washed easy because Lily just wants to shit all over the place.
oh, is it poop or pee?
Yes, it is. And a little barf because she likes to eat grass too. So.
Oh,
And not the good kind.
She likes to eat
she
shoelaces
sounds wonderful.
too. She loves the shoelace.
I love her. She's the best. I love her.
That's
so
awesome.
much fun.
Yeah, that's
She's
good.
so much
yeah.
fun. But fuck her for shitting and pissing on my rugs. Brian, your score?
Yeah, what's your score?
So I didn't hate the movie.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if I'd ever watch it again. But I'm not giving it a terrible score. I'm giving it a 50.
I think for someone that doesn't have any kind of
I don't have any history
horror
with this
movie DNA, like you
Yeah,
don't.
and I don't watch horror movies.
I think that's a good score. This
I
movie,
think it's a decent score from you.
this
as well,
movie
yeah.
makes me want to go watch part 2 because the end of this, it looks like they're both dead, Duane and Biala. So
Yeah, how can there be more?
I Duane's definitely in the next 2 because he's.
We don't know
in
what
the
else
credits.
those doctors have done. Those doctors may have worked on other cases.
They're all dead.
but they may have worked on other cases in the past.
Oh,
But I
there
think-
might be
but-
other.
There might be other things
basket
out there.
cases.
Yeah.
But Duane's in the next 2 movies. That's his only credits. Is these 3 movies?
Oh, I didn't
That's
look
it.
at this. I really did.
Maybe
not.
And the other movie,
I really
not,
did not
not
look up the
Frankie Hooker,
cast.
but Brain Damage is the other movie that the director did. He's in that as well.
Get
So.
excited for next week. Slumber Party Massacre once again.
With
Kevin.
our north of the border friend Kevin. Kevin,
Hold on.
Oh, did you have something fun to play for us?
Oh, I was going to.
Okay.
he got there eventually.
Yeah, I mean,
I hit the volume.
you were
turn
starting to get better with that, but we gave him too much.
He's had
credit.
3 beers.
3 Michelob Ultras.
Oh my god, that's
Any
like
percent alcohol.
and he
that's
did
like
a,
1% of alcohol.
he did an extended mini that he really he fizzled out at the end there.
My wild one.
Should we do a teaser for Slumber Party Massacre? I don't have it up.
Yeah, you want to do a quick read on that, Andy? We're gonna pull that up real quick. We'll edit that real quick. This part, it's a little segment right here. But no, I'll give you Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Oh, yeah.
The critics gave it a 76%, which were right
Wow.
there with me and Andy.
Did they really 76? Wow.
Yeah, and the audience was 54, which is right
closer
there,
to me.
basically with you. Yeah, so that's interesting.
I'm
surprised
interested
that the
to see why
critics.
the critics.
I'm surprised critics were higher on this, and I think it was again. I think they have a lot of. You got to give a lot of credit for that budget. I think for what they did with that amount of money.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean.
I can't wait for next week. I mean, listen to this description.
Okay, here we go. Slumber Party Massacre.
A female high school student's slumber party turns into a bloodbath as a newly escaped psychotic serial killer wielding a power drill prowls her neighborhood. I'm already giving that a 90. I'm already giving it a 90. It sounds amazing. I can't wait.
Well, Kevin sent me the trailer from IMDb. There's so much nudity in that trailer. It's insane.
Just the trailer.
Just the trailer. I'm like, I don't remember seeing nudity in trailers.
No, I don't think
You
they do
didn't
that,
watch
really.
this ever, right?
I've never seen it. I never even heard of it.
I've seen it. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but this is one of those.
I might have
ones-
seen this the same weekend I saw Basketcase. I mean, it's been like since the 80s. That I've
It's
seen this
definitely been
movie.
since the early days of my my VHS rental from like the mom and pop shops, not the Blockbuster Video. This was at like you would go to like
Blockbuster?
no, you wouldn't go there. You would go to like original video.
I went to like Acme Markets and they had a
there was,
video
like,
store in there.
Yeah, there was like the mom and pop shops. You know,
We go over to Wrightstown. And there was a
Unlike last week when we previewed Basketcase, Slumber Party Massacre has 2 people that have a blue squiggly under their name on the Wikipedia page. So
what does that mean, please?
that means they've actually done other things. They have a Wikipedia page under themselves. Last week, the entire cast of Basketcase had nothing to report on. Nothing to report on.
So this is a bunch of nobodies as well, is what you're saying for Slumber Party Massacre. There was no big names.
Pretty
No
much.
surprise, like no Johnny Depp first appearance, like you know how and
When I click
like
on
Kevin-
both people, they're being credited as Slumber Party Massacre. So, yes.
but
Enjoy the movie,
I think we're gonna
not
have a
the
lot. I
people
think
in the
we'll have a lot
movie.
to talk about with that movie anyway. But
And we'll have Kevin here to talk about it. He's going to
Yeah.
be saying like a boot and okay and it's okay. And
I've never heard him speak. Have you talked to him?
he's
Or-
Canadian.
Yeah, I
He
know.
better come with Canadian accents or I'll be
That's
pissed
what I'm
off.
saying. What if he was? What if he sounded like me?
Then I'll be pissed. I'll be like, no, cut, come back with like,
You're like, no, this is not going to work. We're going without him.
he has to come back like Steve the Dick from South Park. He's got to be all booted.
Do you want him to be like half in his mouth opening, half and half like
His
Terrence and
flapping
Phillip?
head.
Like Terrence and
He
Phillip.
better have a flapping head on that Zoom screen.
And
God damn
Ike-
it, Kevin, get a flapping
Kick
head.
the baby.
Don't Kick the Baby.
But basically, you can find us everywhere, Andy. I know you were asking that earlier. This is the exciting and new.
I find us on Apple.
podcast.
That's where I find us.
Apple, Spotify, everywhere you find your podcasts. You can find us on TikTok, on Spreaker, Instagram, Facebook, all those good places. I'm the Jazoo on Instagram, Jazoo74 on Twitter. I'm Jason.
AE Gonzo 1970 on
Instagram.
Twitter. Oh, Instagram. AE Gonzo 1 on Twitter.
Yes.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian, Papa Bad Kitty.
Papa Bad Kitty.
Yay, Papa.